welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. You guys, I'm sorry, there's so much stuff going on with Hermes. I have a few more Hermes videos coming up this week. Please don't be tired of me. I was supposed to film yesterday, but I was super busy at the office, so I decided to film today. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is this trend that I've noticed going on resale sites, mainly like Jane's Finds and Fashion File as well. I don't have any links to like prove my like theory or whatever, but I have seen it in like the past month. I've noticed there are a lot of these, I think it's called the Z stamp, like the bags that were made by the artisans in 2021 this year. There are a lot of these Z stamp quota bags that are on resale sites. When I was preparing a few Hermes videos that I've done in the past few weeks, I would constantly see them like on Jane's Finds and Fashion File. So like 2021 bags that have either like been used a little bit or like box fresh, like mint condition bags. So it got me thinking, like, what do we think about the ethics of someone essentially kind of taking a quota bag from someone else in order to resell on the resale market? Of course, everyone has their own like decisions, and people can make their own decisions when it comes to stuff. And you know, we've talked about this before. You know, once you purchase it, it is yours. You're allowed to do what you want with the product. But I have noticed that this is definitely a thing. So on this one social media platform I won't name, and I won't name which quota bag it is, there was someone who made a massive deal about, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited to get this quota bag. It was a B, it was a K, or it was a C. It's one of those three. It was super beautiful. It wasn't in a neutral color, but it was definitely in a really, really nice color. And they made a massive deal out of it. They got everyone so invested in their journey. And then a few weeks later, they sold the bag. I was kind of disappointed. They were like, hey guys, I'm selling it, you know? And I'm pretty sure it actually did get sold because the color was really nice. It was a bright color. It wasn't neutral, but it was really bright. And I was really disappointed in that person, as if that person's my friend, okay? As if I know that person and I don't know that person from someone walking in the street. And I think what kind of disappointed me was I was kind of disappointed as well at my own hypocrisy. So let me be clear and say, I feel like I am a bit of a Hermes hypocrite, and I'm okay with that. And by that, what I mean is I'm happy to wait the long game until Hermes open a boutique in South Africa or Morocco, or just to go to Paris. Paris is not going anywhere, okay? Hermes was founded in the 1830s. It's not going anywhere. I could wait. I'm cool on that. But there are some bags that I definitely would be interested in if they're like box fresh, like mint condition from the store. I did see a Singaporean reseller reselling a Kelly 25 in Rose Azalea. I'll put up a picture, but not of the one that I was looking at. It was in Rose Azalea. There was another one in Rose Jaipur. That is like one of my personal faves. So I feel like I would be up for that at resale, maybe just to get the color now so that when I go to Paris, I can look for the Kelly Pochette in Exotic or Swift, or any Birkin or Kelly bags in Exotic, for example, or even in, you know, the sort of standard leathers. So I feel like a hypocrite because I, from time to time, not all the time, but I definitely look on the resale sites to see like what are the prices for Kelly 25s brand new and Kelly 28s and Kelly 32s. And I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I would absolutely buy a mint condition, box fresh bag, no problem. But at the same time, when I saw this person making a huge deal about their journey and about, oh, I got a quota bag, and then just to resell it like a few weeks later, I have to say I was like disappointed in that client. And the person wasn't a reseller or anything like that. I don't know, I think it's terrible because I kind of feel like I have like bigger expectations for you guys than I have for resellers. Like, I feel like Hermes clients should be held to a different standard. And it's unfair because at the end of the day, that's someone's property and he or she should be allowed to resell it the way they want. Part of me was a little bit disappointed. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, do you think it's unethical to like buy a quota bag, mint condition from the store? By the way, if you have agreed to the color, it means you agreed to it. You know what you're doing, okay? We're all big girls here, we're all big boys here, okay? Is it unethical to like buy a mint condition bag and then resell it a few months later? Thoughts? Tell me. And buy a mint condition quota bags. We're not talking about bags that are not Birkin, Kellys, or Constances. We're talking about bags that have crazy demand. People are desperate to score these bags. Is that ethical? Yes or no? For some reason, I don't really have like big expectations from resellers, but I feel like from clients, I have like a big expectation from you if you're an Hermes client. I'm like, really? Is that what we're doing? And then at the same time, I'm like, but it is a mint condition bag. I personally didn't like the color. I won't say which color it was, but I didn't like the color, even though it was a bright color. But I was like, But then I just didn't like the way she moved about it. Like I didn't like her movements around it, making a huge deal and then reselling it. I was like, girl, please, you're really annoying, and I don't like that. I just didn't like that. So I wanted to know what you think. Part of me feels like it's unethical to straight away resell a bag you were offered and you're actually a client, not a reseller. You should return the bag to the store. But on the other hand, there's so many of these 2021 Z stamp quota bags on the resale market. Like there's a crazy amount of them. Definitely like the past few weeks, I have seen a few. Whether they've been sold or not, that's one thing. But I have seen a few. So I'm very curious about the people who are being offered quota bags and then they're going on the resale market. I think that also you need to be careful. Like this person was talking on a social media platform where I know for a fact that they're Hermes employees who are on that platform. Okay, I would be like, oh my gosh, girl, I'd be careful if I was you, because you could get yourself blacklisted. Okay, and that is not cool. There are more Hermes store shenanigans. Guys, I'm sorry. I know that I cover them so much on the channel, but blame Hermes and their store network around the world for all these crazy stories. So the first story is straight out of Milan, Italy. Hello to everyone in Italy. Gosh, I can't wait to go to Italy, to go to like the Vatican and then to go to Rome and Milan. I'll have such a great time. So I'll put up the story on the screen so you can read it. I personally think that the client is wrong and the essay from Hermes is right. So let's do like a boxing match. For each story in the comments, or in the Premier chat, tell me who's right, who's wrong. I think the client is wrong, and I'll tell you why. So basically, just paraphrase if you're not reading the story. The client walked in with a friend. They wanted to look at a scarf, and she wanted to purchase a scarf. The SA was following them around, and each time they looked at something, the SA would like show them options and stuff. And then that person feels like they were being chaperoned around the store, and they felt like, they're kind of implying that they felt like, they were being suffocated or whatever, and they didn't feel like at ease, and it wasn't like what they had wanted from the store experience. Well, guess what, darling? Okay, it's a luxury store. Okay, this is not a car boot sale. Okay, where you can just go and be like, oh, okay, let me put all my fingers through everything and not buy anything. Like, the essay has a job to do, and I'm sorry, okay, the client is wrong here. This is a luxury store. The products cost a lot of money. You can't just walk around and do whatever you want in the store. And I think something else that we need to, kind of remember is particularly these like luxury boutiques. They're very prone for these like, syndicates and these luxury heists that we read about. I can't use those crazy words pertaining to heists because I don't want to get my channel striked, okay? But sometimes people do go into these boutiques and they claim that they're just browsing, okay, and they look at the entire like blueprint of the store, and then they come a few weeks later with a bunch of people to take things from the boutique without paying for them. You see, I'm trying to avoid using words here, okay? So maybe that's why the essay has to follow you around. Now, I want to be clear about something. As a black woman, when I was living in the West, I definitely had experiences, not in luxury stores. I need to make this clear. This is crazy, okay? I definitely had experiences in like normal stores where like people would be following me excessively, but you're not following other clients. My issue is, let's keep the same energy for all the clients. Like if you're just following me, that means you think that maybe I'm, a thief or whatever. But other clients aren't being followed, and if they're walking around, then yeah, I might feel like I'm being singled out. In this case, she wanted to purchase a scarf, okay? The essay was like, hey, I've got other scarves, would you like to see them? And it's like showing her other scarves, like to see if she wants to purchase. That person's doing their job. This person is wrong, and I'm sorry, I can't believe I'm even defending Hermes here, but a scarf is a drop in the ocean, I'm sure, for a fashion capital like Milan, where this Hermes store is, and I'm sure that for them it was nothing. The person is just doing her job, And I think sometimes like SAs are caught in a tight spot. If she wasn't following her around, this person might say, well, she was ignoring me. She obviously didn't want my customer. I'll go spend my money elsewhere. You always see that in these reviews. People always get in a huff, you know. People always get, you know, put their chests out and want to start fighting, okay? Now, she's following her too much and the person feels, oh, chaperone. Girl, you need to stop, okay? This Hermes life isn't for you. The person is doing their job. This next story is from the Monaco boutique of Hermes. I won't post it. It's very, very, very long. I think it's going to take up like the whole screen. So if you want to read it in its entirety, just search Hermes Monaco in Google. It will come up on the Google reviews. This is a very interesting one. I'm siding with the client on this one. So basically, this client talks about how she walks into Hermes Monaco. She says she wants to buy a diamond ring. She's interested in buying a diamond ring. She asks if they have any bags. She doesn't say which bag she's looking for. She says, oh, I want to buy a diamond ring. By the way, do you have bags? Which to me, I think is fair. Bags at Hermes mean many things. She could mean the velour. She could mean the synthetic. She could mean like a Picatin. I mean, come on. And then she says that she's like treated really badly by the SAs. And they're like, no, we don't have any Kellys or Birkins. That's bang out of order. She didn't say she wanted a Kelly or a Birkin, okay? She said she was looking for bags. Why don't you show me an Evelyn? Why don't you show me a synthetic or a velour? Like, why are you getting so like tense about it necessarily being a quota bag? Then she says how she discovers a French couple being offered a Kelly. And they literally just told her that there are no, like, we do not have any Birkins or Kellys in the store. Stop it. This is Hermes Monaco, okay? You're trying to tell me you don't have a Kelly bag when the bag is named after Princess Grace Kelly? Stop, okay? I'm sorry. I can't with these people with how they are sometimes. I think that the client is right. I think that the SA is wrong. I'm not surprised by this behavior. A lot of these Hermes boutiques, they have crazy stories and shenanigans. Obviously, people are trying to score a bag. We don't know which diamond ring it was that she wanted to buy. We don't know how much it is. I know that some of their fine jewelry rings are very, very expensive. In the review, this client says how she felt like she was racially profiled. And like I've told you before, I have been racially profiled in stores when I was living in the UK. It's not a good experience. So if someone is sharing their experience and saying they feel like they were racially profiled, I'm going to accept them and I'm going to support that person, because I have been on the receiving end of a really, really bad experience, and I actually got an apology from the store manager and it was a horrific experience. So I've been there. I know it doesn't feel good. But my thing is, like, even if we put the racial profiling to the side, we do know that Hermes is known for the fact that right now they're really trying to offer quota bags to francophones or French-speaking people. That's another huge theme I've seen in a lot of these store reviews, is that I even saw, I'm not going to post it here because it was just like a tiny little review, but I think the Georges V or Sèvres boutique, someone had said, oh, I can't speak French. I think that's why I wasn't like offered a bag. Someone was complaining about that pertaining to one of those two. And I would just assume that at Georges V, Sèvres and FSH, I would just assume that every SA is bilingual. But I do think, I mean, we don't know. Did she walk in there speaking French? Yes or no? I mean, it is Monaco. I feel like you should just go in there and at least be like, bonjour, ça va, or whatever, you know, and just try and make like a rapport. But at the same time, I'm going to support the client here, because if she felt racially profiled, that is so wrong and bang out of order, and that really can hurt your feelings and stuff. And when I read this review, I was like, oh, I sympathize with her. And I think that, you know, particularly it depends like which country and which culture it is. There is a lot of implicit bias in retail, and these things, they happen. And I mean, it's happened to Oprah how many times? It happens, okay? But my thing is like, the store needs to understand this is no longer about a Birkin or a Kelly. This is actually about you not treating this person fairly, and that is unfair. And the person was just like, I'm never going back to this boutique again. And as someone who was like interested in going to Monaco and visiting the Hermes in Monaco, as a person of color, this completely turns me off from Hermes Monaco. The next story is from Abu Dhabi. So assalamu alaikum to everyone in the United Arab Emirates. The UAE has a lot of Hermes boutiques between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So this story is really interesting to me. And again, it proves the fact that the Pickerton is really becoming this hot bag. So this client asked for a Pickerton, and the SA is like, making a show of it. And the client is like, I have a profile, I believe she said Milan, Florence, Dubai. And the person wasn't even given the honor, purchasing the Pickerton. Now, let's talk about Abu Dhabi and Dubai as well, although this did happen in Abu Dhabi. The boutiques in the United Arab Emirates are extremely competitive, and I feel like we don't talk about this enough. I have seen so many people on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and forums talk about how it is so hard to score. So for those of you, maybe you're traveling to Dubai, or maybe you are thinking, okay, I'm going to go there, I'm going to try and score a bag. It's really, really, really hard to score a quota bag if you're not from Dubai or Abu Dhabi, number one. And number two, even if you're an expat and you live there, you need to have a profile that's like a very long profile, and you've purchased a lot of stuff. No one is scoring a bag as a unicorn in Abu Dhabi and Dubai without purchase history. It's not going to happen. So don't even try and be like, I walked in there and I got a Birkin 25, okay, a black one from the Dubai boutique. No, you didn't, okay? No, you did not, okay? Because people are not even getting Pickertons, okay, at the Abu Dhabi stores. So I thought this story was really interesting because I think it just highlights how competitive Abu Dhabi is. And there were other stories from Dubai as well that were like, people were like, oh my gosh, I walked in there, tried to buy something. I think there was like another story I read, it was just like a tiny one. Someone had said that they asked for a Birkin, and the essay was like, it's only for local clients. Like, if you're not from here, you're not going to be offered a bag. And that mirrors what we've seen in Amsterdam, for example, and how, the Amsterdam Hermes boutique is known for the fact that if you go in there, particularly if you speak English and you can't speak Dutch, they're just going to shut you down, sweetheart, okay, like a computer. They're like, shut her down right now, okay, she's not getting a bag. So that kind of mirrors what we're seeing in these like very competitive locations. They would prefer to just keep their local clients happy instead of kind of taking a punt on a tourist who's not going to kind of come back and buy other things for commission. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the Abu Dhabi clientele and the Dubai clientele are super rich locals, lots of wealthy local clients. You have higher earning expats, and then you have tourists who spend a lot of money. Why should they give you, even a Kelly 32 or a Birkin 35? Those are going to be very competitive in locations like Abu Dhabi and Dubai, just because there's so many wealthy people concentrated in those two places. So I thought it was just super interesting to read this because it reinforces what we talked about in my previous video about the Pickerton becoming this like kind of undercover quota bag that no one knew about in certain parts of the world, because she had a profile in Milan and Florence and Dubai, and even she couldn't buy the Pickerton in Abu Dhabi. I just thought that was super interesting. I'd love to know what you think. If those of you who are from the United Arab Emirates and your Hermes shoppers, please share your stories below. I've just heard that both of these locations are very, very, very competitive. Of course, I'd love to visit Dubai one day or Abu Dhabi, but I definitely know that when it comes to Hermes, no one is walking in there as a tourist and scoring a bag, okay? It is very, very competitive. So I thought this story was really interesting. Guys, please make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and like this video. We have a lot more to get through. Next story is from Miami. I believe this is the Design District Boutique. I will link it below as an IMGA link because it's just such a long story. So basically, there's a client who I think she scored this is from a few years ago, by the way. She scored a Birkin 35, and then when she scored the bag, she comes across this essay who's like, you're supposed to tip me. Okay, massive red flag, because we all know that Hermes essays are not allowed to receive tips. This is worldwide. They are not allowed to receive a tip, basically, for scoring or scoring a bag for you. And then she then goes on to explain the story, and she says how she was like kind of like, taken aback by that, whatever. And then she comes back to the store. I think she's trying to buy a Kelly Pochette. I think also a mini Kelly. I'm just looking there. I think she says a Kelly Pochette and a mini Kelly, or one of the two. And she comes back, and then that person just like makes a massive big deal about the fact that, you need to like be nice to me, and you should have given me a tip and all this. I thought this was a wild story that we should discuss. I'd love to know what you think. Obviously, the essay is wrong because the essay is not allowed to ask for a tip. I thought the story was crazy. Like when I read this, I almost thought that it was fake, but the amount of detail that the reviewer left, it's not fake. Like this definitely was real. She puts the name of the essay. I'm not going to say the person's name. Obviously, you'll see it in the screenshot below. And I think she actually does go and complain to corporate. I think she did. I don't know. We don't know the fate of this woman. I'm guessing if this came out, the person probably did get, the sack. And that kind of ties in with something that's been floating around in a lot of Hermes groups, that an essay in one of the Hawaii boutiques actually got sacked for talking about quota bags via text. So apparently, like essays right now at Hermes, no essays worldwide want to discuss quota bags via text or SMS, because that has like spooked and made people super, super like frightened and afraid, whatever, who work at the house. So I don't have details on that, so don't ask me about that. I saw people talking about that on social media and on Facebook and stuff, and I thought that was quite strange. So I think like this particular story from the Miami store, I think it also just proves like a lot of things that maybe that we've all kind of known. Because the quota bags don't have commission, I do think that there is pressure for SAs to make sales in general and to hit their numbers. I think a lot of the times when we're talking about quota bags, there are a lot of people who say, well, I don't really buy like other things, or I just buy quota bags and my SA loves me. Okay, well, your SA probably loves you, but they're probably not thinking about you every day when they're thinking, I need to make my numbers at the end of the quarter because I don't want to, be sacked from my job because I'm not selling enough, fine jewelry bracelets, or I'm not selling enough this or enough that. But I think a story like this also shows that there are a lot of shenanigans that go on, and there are definitely some people in the Hermes universe who can be kind of ply. I did see someone on social media talking about how they wanted to like give their SA a gift card, and people were like, oh my gosh, no, like, you can't do that. The person won't be able to accept it. It might make them feel weird. They might also feel like it's a trap or something. What if they're being set up? I mean, that's the level of stress that Hermes products are like creating, that even SAs are frightened. So when I saw this story, I just thought it was super wild, absolutely crazy. It's completely bonkers. It makes no sense at all. And I know it reads like a fake story, but the amount of detail that the person put, when you read it in the description below, you'll see. It just kind of highlighted to me that there are all kinds of shenanigans that go on in these stores, and maybe there are some people who are unprofessional, but I do think that, a company like Hermes that generates so much money, the SAs are under pressure to hit their targets. So this whole idea that SAs will offer you bags like even if you don't buy anything, I don't really believe that, and I do think this kind of proves it as well. This person was just buying quota bags, being offered them or whatever, and then eventually got to a point where maybe the SA felt like, this person is not profitable, I'm not making any money off of this person, I want them to give me some money. It's completely unethical, it's bang out of order, and the SA was wrong. But I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this story. I was completely shocked when I read it. So, as promised, there is a Q&A section of the video. Thanks so much to everyone who asked me a question for this segment. I'm excited because there are a few things I wanted to answer your questions, but also there are a few things I wanted to talk about as well. So the first question is from Apples 107. If you could go into the back of Hermes, what are the specs of the dream bag you pull out? Okay, so the answer to that first question would be, I feel like I would want one of those like ostrich that's not right, ostrich Kelly 25, and I feel like the inside would be rose azalea. I feel like that would be an incredible dream bag for me, and obviously that would have to be like a special order, but I feel like in any of the grays that they have, and you guys I don't really like neutrals, but the only neutral color I like is gray. I feel like it would be an ostrich Kelly 25 or Kelly 28 with a rose azalea interior. The second question is, which brand do you think has the best marketing or influencer strategy? This is a great question, particularly being that I work in marketing. It's not Chanel, it's not Louis Vuitton, it's not Hermes either. I think it's between Balmain or Dior. Balmain doesn't get enough credit for what they have done in terms of luxury marketing. Olivier doesn't get enough credit. Like, Olivier was working with Kim Kardashian when no one wanted to work with her. He like saw something in them all those years ago. God, it feels like a lifetime ago, and it was just like a few years ago. He saw something in the Kardashian family, and love them or hate them, they have massive reach and they influence people's decisions. And he saw something in her that I think a lot of luxury brands are like, okay, ooh, you know, Ricardo as well, because obviously he was like friends with Ye. There's no doubt that her being Kanye's wife at the time helped her like get into these stores. But I think Olivier really understands like social media, and I think Olivier was one of the, in my opinion, the first fashion designer to understand like the power of Instagram. And I think Olivier's completely revolutionized the way Balmain looks. Whether or not you like Balmain is not really the point, but if we're talking pure marketing, I have to say I think Balmain has done like an incredible job, definitely. And then in addition to Balmain, I would definitely say Dior, because let's be completely frank, like the saddle, like the reissue of the saddle, I believe Galliano designed the saddle in 1999, something like that. The reissue a few years ago was like, literally influencers carry that bag on their backs, okay? Literally just carried that bag on their backs and shoved it down everyone's throats. I like the saddle, don't get me wrong, I like that bag, but I definitely think like Dior as well. So I would say it's like Balmain and Dior. Okay, so the next questions, thank you, by the way, Apples, for your questions. The next questions are from Jane. Hi, Jane, thank you so much. So the first question is, a little update on your Clémence notebook, and so yeah, she wants to know an update on that. Okay, so this is my Game On Clémence notebook. I don't know how well you can see it from there, but yeah, here it is. So I've had it now for some time. Well, since like I had received it from Edwin. It's still in great shape. I mean, it's in fantastic shape. I think I'll do a video about this notebook soon, but yeah, love it. I was using it today. You can see that I'm like really using it, because if you look here, you can see some of the gold, like the gold that they have put kind of dusted on the paper here, starting to kind of fall off, which is fine because it means that you're using it. But yeah, I'm loving this. Honestly, I know it's like, oh my gosh, how could you spend that much money on like a notebook, and you can get a notebook for like $2? I know, but I love it, and I wouldn't go back on my decision. I also, if you saw that Louis Vuitton unboxing I did in July, I also got the refill, and I found that I'm just loving them. I think they're great, and I definitely am looking to add as many as I can, like when they are like, you know, when they finish, I'd like to add more. Second question from Jane is, are you a list person? How do you organize and manage YouTube and work and personal life details, digital planner, notebooks combo? Great question. So let me tell you how I manage everything. For YouTube, I actually have like a Microsoft Word document where I put all of my YouTube content ideas in that. I update it every week. So some weeks I know what I'm filming, some weeks, like, I think it was like the week before last when everything dropped, like Coco Nation, everything, then I'll update it on the fly, like on that day, literally when it happens. But I prefer to, yeah, definitely use lists, and I put lists in here. So for work, everything for my job and my career, my business goes in here. And then for my personal life, everything goes in this one here. So I use both of these Louis Vuitton notebooks for that. And then for my YouTube content ideas, and when I'm writing like SEO keywords for YouTube or my descriptions, I put them all on my Microsoft Word. I found that I'm much more productive if I write everything down in a list, and if I keep my YouTube ideas on Word, and I keep my business and personal stuff in those two separate notebooks. I found that I'm just much more organized, and I achieve much more. And I've noticed, like, if I don't write my to-do lists in my notebook, so for example here, after I finish filming this video, I have to write things which I need to do tomorrow at the office. I'll write them in here. I found that if I don't write them in here, and if I don't like strike them off with a highlighter, then my days can be quite stressed. I don't really know what I'm doing, and then I also then have like a bad impact on others in the office if I don't know what I'm doing. The next question from Jane is, where do you get your great sense of humor? Where does your great sense of humor come from? Okay, thanks, Jane. Honestly, I'm sorry, I've got like a big smile on my face, so I'm honored that you think that, but I would say it probably comes from my mom. Like, my mom is really strict, but she's got a great sense of humor. Like, when she wants to make people laugh, like, you'll be laughing until like the tears are coming out of your eyes. I think something else is I'm someone who I just enjoy like having a good time. I don't take the world too seriously, and I feel like if you don't take the world too seriously, like you just end up seeing fun and humor in everything. Whereas if you're just super stressed and really uptight, you won't really enjoy things. I think that's where it comes from. I think it's definitely like from my mom, but it's also this kind of, I think I just have a kind of happy-go-lucky attitude about life, and I want to enjoy things and be happy, and I'm not going to get myself like wound up about things, you know? So thanks for that. I appreciate that. The fourth question from Jane is, you win an all expenses paid VIP trip to Paris and 50K to spend on bags, no queues, no pre-spend. Where do you go and what are you getting? Okay, here we go. I feel like I would just try, and I would want to go to, first of all, I want to stay at the Plaza Athénée hotel, that super high-end hotel in Paris. And then I also want to be really close to Place Vendôme. And with 50K to spend on bags, I feel like I'd just rather put it all in and get like just like a special order exotic croc bag from Hermes. I feel like I'll take that 50K and go there and just put a special order in and get like the croc bag of my dreams. That would probably be my spec. And then maybe as like a number 2 from that, I feel like I would definitely try and get like a Kelly pochette, maybe in black, in croc. I think that's like 20,000 euros, I think, for the Kelly pochette. And then I think I'll also try and get like a mini Kelly for a friend, maybe just to like gift it to someone, because I feel like someone who loves a mini Kelly, to get that as a gift, that would be really cool. And I think my third option also would be like maybe the Kelly 32 or Kelly 28 in ostrich, and in any color that's bright, but not a neutral. So does that make sense? So I would have 2 options. I would like put it all in getting like an exotic special order, but then my number 2 would be those 3 options that I made. And I definitely want to stay at the Plaza Athénée, because that hotel looks like it's got my name written all over it. Okay, the next set of questions are, the first one is from Holly Grace. Hi Holly. Lux swimwear thoughts. Good question. So I actually really like luxury swimwear, and let me show you 2 swimsuits that I'm looking to buy actually. These are in my Farfetch. I always look at them like every week. I'm just checking. I'm waiting for my size to come back for the Moschino one. But I think the Balmain one, my size is there. I actually am very into it. Holly, I know because you live in Australia, so you live in a beautiful country, and I know that Australia is known for its beaches, okay? The same way Tanzania is known for its beaches as well. So I feel like luxury swimwear is an area that I would be comfortable in investing in, because I feel like I'd get so much return from it. So definitely Balmain and Moschino, and I'm absolutely into it. There was a Versace swimsuit. I'll try and find it and put it up on the screen. I did like it, but I felt like it looked too much like the Moschino one that I'm interested in. So yeah, I would definitely do that for sure. The next question is from Monroe Revived. Hi, what was your first experience with luxury goods? I think I've said it before in a previous video, but at the very least, like my first bag was from Lulu Guinness, and it was an exotic piece. So that was when I was living in the UK. The next question is from I am LBBA. I feel like any tacky collection is made for celebrities to flex on their music videos now. What do you think? This is an interesting question. I know what you mean by tacky, like some of those collections look a little bit too extra. I don't know. I don't actually think they're necessarily for celebrities. I think, you know, there's so many of us in the world. Many people have different interests. I do actually think there's something for everyone, particularly Louis Vuitton's collections. I know many people didn't like Wild at Heart. Try and buy something on the website from Wild at Heart today. Okay, pretty much everything is gone. I know people really didn't like, particularly the on the go in the canvas for Wild at Heart, and literally, like, those bags are not that easy to score on different LV sites. So I know what you mean. The next question is also from I am LBBA. Would you rather have 1 gorgeous Cartier piece or 5 luxury exotic bags? I feel like I would go for the gorgeous Cartier piece for 2 reasons. Number 1, Cartier is my favorite brand. Love Cartier to bits. And number 2, I like handbags, and bags are great and they're fun, but I don't like them the way I think a lot of people on YouTube like them. And by that, what I mean is I, you know, absolutely like them. I would happily purchase them as and when I'm inspired, but I don't feel the need to have like 20 bags, 30 bags, 40 bags. That's not really my thing. I think you guys know that my thing is more like luxury as a lifestyle. So I like a lot of lifestyle pieces, and you know, you can tell from obviously this Louis Vuitton notebook, that's like more my thing. I also like luxury ready to wear, and obviously jewelry as well. So I feel like I would definitely take the Cartier piece. And the next question from IMLBBA, which is a great question. Do you think that luxury YouTube has come to saturation with content ideas? This is a great question. Really good question. So I want to make sure I don't go off on a tangent. I want to answer the question. Do I think that luxury YouTube has come to saturation with content ideas? To a certain degree, you know, I have to say yes, because I mean, at this point in the game, like there are certain types of videos that will just always generate views. So you have unboxings, hauls, reveals, like people showing things that they've purchased, and shopping vlogs, right? So those will always generate views. People always watch them, and maybe it's getting a bit exhausting for you guys. Now, you guys who watch, you're the ones who dictate our success. Not me. I don't dictate anything on this platform. You, by watching this video, will dictate if people subscribe, if people see. I think that luxury YouTube hasn't even peaked yet. And I know you're like, what? No, trust me, luxury YouTube has not even peaked yet. I, as a marketing person, I'm always looking for trends because I find it super interesting, because that's what I do for my job. And for example, I've noticed there are like these Mandarin luxury channels where people are unboxing Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Chanel in Mandarin, which is so cool. I've seen unboxings in Mandarin, in Russian. I saw this one luxury YouTuber who lives in Moscow. She was doing a review of the Kelly Pochette and the Mini Kelly in Russian, and she had tons of views on her videos, okay? We're just like English speaking YouTube, okay? There's Mandarin speakers, Russian speakers, okay? There are lots of Spanish channels as well. So I don't think that it's reached saturation, but I think what's happening in the Anglophone luxury space is this. I think that the pandemic has kind of made people feel like guilty for liking luxury. And I think that we're seeing a lot of these kind of, you know, I don't know, like a little bit of bloodletting over luxury. Like some people feel like bad that maybe they have invested in it. I think a better way to look at luxury is like a hobby, and to enjoy a hobby. And I think that's how, if you look at it that way, I feel like you won't feel kind of stressed by it. I think that if C19 had never happened, I don't think that people would think that luxury YouTube basically is doing too much. So I think your question is really great. I noticed so many trends in luxury channels. I have noticed a lot, like what other people are doing. So like the multilingual aspect of luxury YouTube, that is a huge thing. And I discovered that a few weeks ago because I was looking for someone who had done like a new review of the Kelly Pochette, and then I stumbled across this Mandarin videos. I don't speak Mandarin. Mandarin sounds beautiful, but I don't speak it. And then she graciously realized that she was getting a lot of traffic from Anglophone speakers, so she put English subtitles, God bless her. And I watched her whole video and I thought it was great, and I commented. So I think that there's so many new worlds within the luxury YouTube world. I mean, obviously, English is not my first language. Swahili is my first language. And I have many people who watch my channel who are from Kenya and who are from Tanzania. Would I do a channel in Swahili? No, because I feel like it would just be way too much work and I would have to just do so much more differently. But there are absolutely even opportunities here for luxury or lifestyle channels in African languages. I've seen a few people from the Democratic Republic of Congo posting videos in Lingala, which is one of the languages from the DRC, and French, for example, and posting about luxury and doing Zara hauls. So there are huge things going on. It's not just the English speaking world, and I feel like sometimes we can kind of get so obsessed with like what's going on in the Anglophone world that we can forget what's happening. Other than that, there are like other things I've seen in the luxury YouTube world, which I think is super interesting. It's worth us discussing, like memberships. I think there are a few luxury channels that are doing memberships at the moment, which to me, I find very interesting. I personally wouldn't do a membership on here because I love the fact that my channel is open to all of you. Memberships, for example, are really popular for like gaming channels, documentary channels. So there's so many cool trends. And what I like about luxury YouTube and the luxury world in general and social media is that it's kind of growing on its own. So you're seeing all of these trends and things like that. You're seeing people start their own products, people have their own like lines now. I think there's some channels that I saw, not necessarily luxe channels, but fashion channels. So there's so much happening. So yeah, I mean, you know, luxury channels are what they are. I mean, I've always said that I just want my channel to be like a place where you can come and not feel judged for liking these things, because I know that people can judge you. And as long as you, for example, like on here, like you can have a different opinion to me. I think some channels in the luxury community are like little castles. They're like forts. If you don't think the way everyone thinks on that channel, you get dragged in the comments, okay? That's not what we do on here. You're absolutely entitled to your opinion. You just say it in your Michael Jackson voice. If everyone says everything in the Michael Jackson voice, I'm telling you, we could sort out massive problems. Trust me, okay? If you need to know how he sounds, go and Google his voice, okay? So gentle, but the point is always taken. So guys, look, as usual, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I never really thought that anyone would be really watching my videos. I remember this time last year, there were like a few of you who were around. There weren't many of you guys who were here, and now 1 year later, things are really happening for the channel. I feel super blessed that you guys even care to say hello. You send me DMs, you send me emails. I feel so blessed that you do. And I hope that doesn't sound like fake humility. I really do mean it. So thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who has supported the channel. And like I said, we all have different opinions here, and that's okay. It's just as long as we say everything nice. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.